with the Golden State Warriors basically failing to do anything so far this offseason, I think that it's time to talk about a rebuild. Now, this sounds extremely controversial because, of course, Steph Curry is in his second prime right now. He just made an All NBA team, and I mean, he's been on top of the league, proving that he can carry a team to a championship as he did in that 2022 season. However, there is one thing that very much separates good franchises from great franchises. And good franchises, you can look at some teams like the LA Lakers. You can look at, the past Warriors teams. You can look at, I don't know, the Mavs, who kept Dirk for the end of his career. But the thing that great franchises have that good franchises don't is knowing when to move on. And I think that the Warriors might struggle with this particularly. And as a Warriors fan, I would hate to see this happen. But I think it's time to blow up the team. Trade everyone that has value and is old. And that, yes, my friends, includes Steph Curry and Draymond Green. Let's just get right into the video because this is just going to be an absolutely wild one. First things first, let me elaborate a bit more on why the Warriors should actually head towards this rebuild. Now, the team's been on top of the league for I don't even know how many seasons. They won 4 of 8 championships at a certain point, that was definitely their peak. They won that 2015, 17, 18. Should have won 2019 and 2016, but unfortunately injuries and LeBron James just came in between those years. And then, of course, most recently they won the 2022 championship, which was basically just on the back of Steph Curry. There was no second option that championship, unlike when they had KD in those 2017 and 18 years. Sorry, I'm blanking a bit for some reason. But anyways, it's the Warriors have kept the same sort of initial guys for the past few years. Clay, Draymond, and Steph and Looney. Now, they they're great players, but with all the rumors coming that says that Clay is gone, it's practically confirmed that he will not be on this team next season, and free agency is opening up in already open, and he signed with a different team. So yeah, Clay's definitely gone, and now you really only have Steph, Draymond, Wiggins, and Looney, and for your other old players, I'm pretty sure they got rid of Chris Paul if I remember correctly. And other than that, you don't really have anyone that's old. And that's a pretty good start because the young guys in this team have already been carrying a significant load. Jonathan Kuminga, Brandon Pajemski, Moses Moody, Lester Quinones, who actually might be off the team unfortunately, Trace Jackson Davis, and of course, they drafted Quinton Post this year, who looks like he has great upside, potentially all-star potential if he can really lock in. And apart from that, the team is pretty good at a young standpoint. But if they want to compete now, they have to trade those players. And it seems that they're extremely unwilling to do that, as we saw in the Paul George trade. Or the lack of a Paul George trade, I should say, because they were unwilling to offer Kuminga and Pajemski, which ultimately led to the trade falling through. Now, of course, you could trade those young players and get someone like Paul George. But once you do, is this team even good enough to contend? If you think about it, the Western Conference is the most stacked ever. And I mean ever. I don't think that's ever been better. You could maybe go back to when the Lakers were running the league with Shaq and Kobe, but apart from that, there's really nothing else. Between the Thunder were obviously a great team. They're only going to develop. The Timberwolves also only going to develop with Anthony Edwards. The Nuggets literally won the championship 2 years back, and they seem poised to do it again. You just had the Pelicans trade for DeJounte Murray and create a huge, great big three over there. The Lakers obviously still have LeBron, AD, and all those other players who they just make potential to win any playoff series. The Kings have been developing pretty well, and I hate saying that as a Warriors fan because I hate the Kings, but I'll give them flowers when it's due. Basically, what I'm trying to say is that the Western Conference is an absolute powerhouse. I don't think that there's any way that the Warriors can possibly contend this year unless they somehow get Paul George and Laurie Markkinen. I mean, as a Warriors fan, I'm just going to be completely real and say that this team, it's not great. Especially with the loss of Klay Thompson, we lost a ton of shooting. And there's not much that they can do anymore. They don't have many first round picks to trade away, and yeah, it's just a tough situation. So if they do ultimately go in the rebuild direction, I'll be mad because I don't want Steph Curry off this team. Steph's been on this team for as well, not as long as I've been alive, but he's been on it for a very long time, and he should be staying a Warrior for life, I hope. But if you could get, I don't know, we've seen some crazy trade hauls around the league. I mean, if players like Mikal Bridges and Rudy Gobert are going for 5 first round picks, oh my goodness, just imagine how much Steph Curry would go for. He would probably be going for 10 first round picks and a majority stake in another team's franchise, if we're being totally honest. Then players like Draymond and Wiggins, they're still good. Wiggins can definitely be a solid option on a championship contender. And frankly, I think that if none other than now, this is the time to rebuild. If they never decide to go in that rebuild direction and just have Steph ride off to the sunset like they did with Dirk, or like the Mavericks did with Dirk, I should clarify, that'll be fine with me. But if we maximize the future of this Warriors team and potentially set us up for championship contendership for, I don't know, the next like 20 years, I won't be angry about it at all. I know that a lot of you might disagree with me, so please do leave your takes in the comments below, and I'll try to respond to every single one, and I probably will. But honestly, this one ended up being a hotter take than I was expecting it. So, you know what? Not all my videos are like this. Most of them are pro Warriors. So follow if you're a Warriors fan. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.